Why has nobody on YouTube ever done this? Steering, feel, review. Maybe it's because I am uniquely positioned to make this video. I'm just autistic enough to actually be able to feel the differences in steering, and I'm just articulate enough to be able to explain what I'm feeling. I really need your guys' help to make this a series. I need old cars, I need new cars, I need normal cars, I need sports cars. I live in this part of the West Midlands. If you live in the surrounding area, Liverpool, Manchester, Birmingham, and are willing to come and meet me, please send me an email to mickdrivescars@gmail.com or send me an Instagram DM with the first line being steering feel review. And I am a real YouTuber, not your average scumbag, so I have a business insurance policy up to £100,000 to drive other people's cars. In this video, we're going to go over spirited driving. That will include the directness of the steering, the weighting and loading of the steering, the texture and feedback of the steering, and in normal driving, we're going to go over parking, town and city driving, and high-speed driving on motorways and highways. Then at the end, we'll have a conclusion. I will score both the spirited driving and the normal driving. I think steering is one of the most important parts of a car. You use it every single time you drive the car. It's one of the only parts of the car that can have two-way communication. You can give instructions and it can give feedback. I think cars that steer well are special. Why don't we talk about steering more? That's what I'm here to fix. So let's get into it. This is a third generation Mazda MX-5 Miata. The model years ran from 2006 to 2014, and this is a late model 2013 NC3 car. But the steering did not change during any of the model years. The car has a wheelbase of 2,330 millimeters. The ratio on the steering rack is 13:1. Importantly, it is a hydraulic steering rack, and it turns just over 1.25 turns each way. That would make it a 2.7 turns, 2.8 turns lock to lock. MX-5s also have a lot of adjustment in the alignment. So I've taken a photo of the alignment I got recently. The alignment does change the steering, but only subtly. This particular car has minor modifications. As it's my own car and I did the modifications, I can tell you they don't really change the steering feel. Cheap eBay steering wheel, some lowering springs, wheels that are a bit wider. Right, with all that said, let's get out on the road, starting with spirited driving. And first, let's talk about the directness of this rack. Oh, she direct. This is one of the beautiful things about hydraulic racks. The off-center response is next level. I'll wait for a straight and I'll show you guys the amount of slop in this rack. That's it. This much is turning me. It's a very direct steering rack. It also steers very quickly. You don't need a lot of input to go around corners. That steering quickness has more to do with the fact the wheelbase is so short. Once you're at a bit of speed, the car does have a little bit of a nervous quality to it. Because the wheelbase is so short, the rack is quite quick, it's definitely a little bit nervous. But then it's an MX-5, so it probably should be. It's designed for this feeling of instant response. Let's talk about the weighting. It's a heavy rack, but it's very linear, kind of like a manual rack in some ways. Now bear with me here. A manual rack, when you're at slow speeds, is incredibly heavy, and the faster you go, the lighter it gets. This rack is the same. Now this is not optimal, but it does feel very natural. I think the way they've designed this rack is that it has the same amount of assistance at any speed. It doesn't do any speed adjusted assistance. At these types of speeds, the steering is actually quite light, but it feels very natural. It also really responds to the camber change. When the road tilts one way or the other, the whole car will move that way and you can feel it in the steering. Not a lot of cars will give you that sense. The one thing this car does not do for spirited driving, which does go against it, is it doesn't really weigh up in the corners. We're going to turn quite a lot for this corner. And while it gets a little bit heavier in the middle of that corner, doesn't really weight up. See, when I turn, It feels like the feeling I get in the steering wheel is the weight of the rack rather than the feeling of the tires weighing up with grip. And that's a bit of a shame, but there are very, very few power steering cars that will tell you how the tire is weighing up with grip. Let's get into this car's party piece, the texture. This is something no modern car has, and this car does it better than almost any car I've ever driven. As you're driving along the road, especially if you go through any little bumps like just on the side here, if the front wheels are moving in any way, you feel it in this rack. It communicates the feeling and the texture and the surface of the road. I can feel on this road that there's a little bit of lack of grip. You can actually see there's like oil patches in the middle, and if I go over them with one of my wheels, the steering communicates that. It doesn't feel as locked into the tarmac. But when you're driving on good roads, the whole wheel is like buzzing with the feel of the road. That feedback lets you understand how much grip you have, because even when driving straight, the steering is telling you what the surface of the road feels like. Absolutely incredible. Very few cars do this. See, like right here, I can tell I have a bit more grip. Now I can tell there's a bit less grip. It just tells you that through the steering wheel. It's incredible. When I talk about two-way communication, this is it. And now all that's done, on to normal driving, starting with parking. How does this car feel being parked? At low speeds, it is very heavy. It's probably one of the heaviest feeling racks I've ever felt. It feels like it's a little bit set in granite. It doesn't really want to move. Not that you should dry steer anyway, but it's very hard to move it with one hand. It has the vibe of a manual rack. Part of that is because I've got 7.2 degrees of caster. Because the rack is completely determined by speed, the faster you go, the lighter it gets. If you're a forward parker and you like doing one of these, it's very happy doing that. Just going one way is fine. It's when you have to change direction that it's definitely a little bit heavier. Not bad, not great. So how is the steering feel around town? It's definitely heavier, especially at these lower speeds. The fact the steering is quite sharp and quick is nice for getting around some of these situations. If someone was coming the other way and you had to dive in here, it's very natural doing that. For negotiating roundabouts, the heavy steering is a bit tricky. Takes a bit of effort, and it doesn't I tried to let it self-center there. It doesn't really self-center, especially not at really low speeds. With a little bit of speed, self-centers a bit better. Overall, the character of it is such that it's nice and quick. You can nip in and out wherever you need to. It's a little bit heavy, but it feels very natural. Doesn't do anything weird. Doesn't do anything unexpected that you wouldn't want. Just drives normally. So how does the steering feel on highways and motorways? Well, I'm doing 70 miles an hour, and this is certainly the weakness of this car and this steering. It's very nervous. It's very good at changing lanes and changing direction. It's not very good at going straight. But it's not a comfortable, stable feeling rack. It's very nervous. Very nervous. Doesn't have that German granite feeling. It's a quick rack in a short wheelbase. It's what you'd expect. So let's score this MX-5. I'm going to try and make the fairest scoring system possible. So the way this is going to work is a 0 means the steering is literally disconnected. A 10 is absolute perfection as far as I'm aware of it. For spirited driving, this is a Lotus Elise. For normal driving, this is like a Range Rover. Super light to park, super stable on the motorway. A 5 is absolutely average. So let's start with normal driving. There are two big negatives against the Mark III MX-5. The steering makes it a pain to park, and the steering makes it nervous on the motorway and highway. So I think if 5 is average, we'll go down 2 and we end up at 3. Maybe it deserves a 4, but it is quite annoying. So I'm gonna go with 3. Now spirited driving, probably while you're all here. I honestly love the Mark III MX-5 steering. For spirited driving, it does so much right, but it can't be a 10 because it's not as good as a Lotus Elise. The one downside is the weighting and the way it weighs up in corners. However, it has so many benefits. The steering is so direct and engaged. The fact that when you're driving, it feels like you're running your hand along the tarmac and feeling the texture of the road, feeling the changes in the surface, even when you're driving straight. That is something not a lot of cars do, and that really does go towards the MX-5 getting a high score here. I am landing this at an 8 out of 10, and that might even be too harsh, because the only negative really is that it doesn't weigh up in the way that I would like it to. But I promise you, as this series goes on, there's not going to be a lot of cars that get 8s. 8 is a very high score for spirited driving. If I had to score my G87 BMW M2 right now for spirited driving, it would be a 4. Once again, if you're local to me, drop me that email, it's in the description, or hit my Instagram DMs. Now, YouTube wants you to watch this video next, but I think this video about driving fast in boring cars is probably a better watch. My name's Mick, I drive cars, peace.